What's up, guys? Welcome back to It's Me Tinx Live, exclusively on Radio Andy, channel 102. As always, this is our time to talk to each other. Call me. It's 844-305-ANDY. That's 844-305-2639. Good morning. Happy 4th of July week. I'm so excited. I hope everyone has fun plans, but if you don't, that's okay too. You know, I used to find summer kind of difficult because everybody's in and out, and it can be a little lonely, like if you don't have plans. And that was me, like so many summers. I was just like, I got nothing. So go listen to Single Girl Calendar Management if you're in that boat. But also if you just want to relax and watch TV all week or weekend, whenever the holiday is, you go ahead and do that. It's your fucking holiday, okay? I have two incredible recommendations. You know me. I'm very moved by movies, TV shows, books, music, etc. The only one that really doesn't do it for me is art, but we can talk about that another time. It's not that I don't respect it. It's just like, I don't think that you can be equally moved by everything. And like, I've never broken down in tears in front of a painting. I'm just being honest with you. Okay, first of all, the Mariska Hargitay has a documentary. It just came out on Friday. It's called My Mother Jayne, and it's a phenomenal documentary. It is so moving, and I won't spoil it because it is so, the twist in it is quite crazy, and I had no context. Like, I'm not a huge SVU person. I mean, I love her. I think she's like always a great celebrity, and I like how, you know, she's just very unproblematic queen, like good at her job, like seems super nice, like all that good stuff. And obviously there's like a cult following around the show, and, you know, love her for that. And also she has a cool name. I didn't even know that Jane Mansfield is her mom. So if you don't know who that is, she's a pinup sex icon, kind of Marilyn Monroe-esque. She was super gorgeous. She had like this crazy life, which was tragically cut short. She died when she was only 34. And she's beautiful and like sexy and just really interesting person. And I didn't know like any of the deep lore about her. I had no idea that Mariska was her daughter. And I won't spoil it for you, because even though I had no previous knowledge, I was so interested in the story, and it's just really, really beautifully made. It's really emotional. It's Mariska's, you know, she was only a baby when her mom passed away. She was 3 years old. So, and she's got like a lot of siblings, and they kind of got to know more of her. But because she was so famous, her mom, there's all this footage of her and all these books about her. So it's kind of like her journey to find more about her mom. It's so moving, you guys. And it's really, really well made. So I would highly recommend that. Okay. Then yesterday I saw F1. Guys, this movie is a 10 out of 10. I have no notes. I was so obsessed with it. I was so into it. Where do I even begin? Firstly, the pacing of the movie. The pacing of the movie is really well done. And this is something that I care deeply about these days, because pacing will really throw me off. And, you know, it was quite a long movie. I don't know how long it is. Also, can you look up the Rotten Tomatoes score? I'm so curious to see what people think of it. But it's quite a long movie. I didn't look at my phone once. And it was just, oh my God, Hans Zimmer does the score, and he just knows how to fuck up the music. Like, and I'm saying that in a good way. Like, he just fucking knows what's up. 97% popcorn meter, 83% tomato meter. I agree. I mean, I would give it 100 on both, but I'm a very hyperbolic person. So Hans Zimmer, that guy fucking sees like shit that we don't see. He's living on another level.
He's
like
incredible.
He is incredible. The soundtrack is so well done. I mean, Brad, he's still got it. He's fucking 60 or something.
So damn sexy.
He's so sexy, and but not as sexy as my man, my number one, Javier Bardem. Javier Bardem is the hottest guy to walk planet Earth, and he's perfect in every way. He's so sexy. He's an incredible actor. He is a great example of a non-bald thumb, because you guys always say, oh, Tinx, you're always saying that, you know, the thumbs are all bald. That's not true. And Steve's pulled up a picture of him in No Country for Old Men. Would I still bang him in that state? Yes, I would. Yes, I would, because that's just how hot. I love his bob. He's got a fuck ass bob in that movie.
Do you ever have
I often think about his character in No Country for Old Men when I'm having a bad day, and I'd be like, I would pray for Javier Bardem to sneak behind me with that cattle prod and just put me down right now.
Put me down. Yep. I mean,
lights out.
He's amazing, and he's so incredible at his job. He's so energetic in this role, and I absolutely freaking loved it. Also, Lewis Hamilton was a producer on it, so I feel like they got all of the technicalities, really, really on point, and they really got it right.
He was on set for like a whole season of
they got
Formula 1,
all the
or
guys,
maybe even two.
Yeah, they got all
he was there filming
the
for a long
guys you
time.
fancy. They were all had cameos. It was really good.
Really
it was
gotta
just really, really, really good. Like, it was so well made, just absolutely incredible. I was sobbing. His wife, oh my God, Steve, it's obviously Penelope Cruz.
No, I just forgot if they got divorced or
okay,
not.
no, obviously.
No, they're
who would
beautiful
divorce
couple.
who? They're both perfect in every way.
Yeah, that's it. I don't know. I just wanted to make sure they were. She's so hot too.
I think that, God made Javier and Penelope so that we could see what ideal humans look like. And also they're like good people, and they're great celebrities. You just don't see them, fucking around, like doing weird shit. They are hot, incredible at their jobs, sexy, and I can't get enough. Like,
talk about sexy accent too. We were talking about
the sexiest
accents the other day.
I don't want to be like weird or whatever, but like,
be weird.
I've loved Javier since high school. When everybody else was lusting after, I don't know, Justin Timberlake, I was lusting after Javier. And you can ask my friends. I was into Javier and I was into Benicio del Toro because I have good taste in men, okay? And they're very few and far between. Also,
what was your first memory of wanting that Javier Bardem was hot? Do you remember what film?
So let's go to the films. Let's go right down and see, because I think what would be...
That's known for. Hang on. Oh, here we go. Let's go. It's got to be somewhere in like the early 2000s,
yes,
90s, right?
Yes, like 2000, maybe like 2009, maybe something like that. Was he in the? Okay, well, Vicky Cristina Barcelona, obviously.
Oh, that's such a good one.
That's like crazy. That's insane.
Penelope Cruz,
yeah,
right?
she's in
Did
it
they
too.
meet in that, or were they already dating?
They both were in some Almodovar film, because I also, before my brain was rotted by the internet, I used to be cool and I would watch like a lot of foreign films, and they were both in one of those. I think they met on set, if I had to remember properly. Wait, go up a little bit. 2009, Vacation, beautiful. Oh, Eat, Pray, Love. He's amazing in Eat, Pray, Love. He's in that. He's in the. He's in Bali when Julia Roberts goes to like, get her shit together or whatever. Find herself. Yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. Come on.
I love him so much. Okay. So anyway, go see that movie. It's fantastic. I keep watching it just like that. We don't have to talk about it. But our caller, spoiler alert, cover your ears for 5 seconds if you didn't watch this week's episode. Our caller was right last week.
Oh, she was.
Yes, he
was.
Our caller, yeah. He called it about one thing. So if you are a listener, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, good job. Also, I finished this book, but I'm going to watch till the end of the season of And Just Like That. I am. So buckle up, because I'm going to have a comment on it. One thing I have to say, I said I wasn't going to talk about it. I just have to say one thing. Miranda used to be the character who wasn't scared of anything. And now she's scared of everything. Now she's like inconsiderate and weird, and Carrie is like so passive aggressive, and I think like, oh my God, I also got the most passive aggressive DM from someone. Someone said, okay, listen, I'm going to read it out because it's important to have different points of view. You might just not be the right demographic for And Just Like That. This is all so real to people of their age. You've had callers trying to explain this to you before. Maybe just tune out. You really have no insight for this stage of life they are portraying. Enjoy your current stage of life. And you don't necessarily get sick when you have ED at that age. That's just what happens to men. Well, sister, first of all, you can have a point of view on a show that is nothing to do with you. So let's just start there. Number two, you were wrong about the ED thing. So sorry about that. And number three, I enjoy my current stage of life so much. This is something that really, I'm not doing that to, scold her. I'm doing that because people today have not they don't understand that criticism is a part of art. As long as you're not saying, oh, they're ugly or this or that. If you're having a dialogue about a show, a movie, a book, whatever, that's part of art. It's part of it. Okay. So that's that on that. I'm going to keep talking about it. I finished Girl on Girl, which is the book that a lot of you recommended to me by Sophie Gilbert. My conclusion is that everybody should read it. I think it should be taught like in schools. And if you're a millennial woman, do yourself a favor and read this fucking book, because it explains everything about how we are. And the further that I got in the book, the more I feel so sorry for us, and the more I feel that I'm not surprised by our reactions to anything, to the body positivity movement. And I think, just to go there for a second, I think it's so funny that based on the deep conditioning that we all had from birth, literally from birth, and Sophie Gilbert, the author who's incredible, tracks it historically through media. I think it's so funny that then we turn around to say to women and go, oh, and now love your body and don't have any qualms about it. And you have to be comfortable with yourself. And if you ever want to look nice, then you're doing something wrong. And you can't fight against the system and all this and that. And I want to do a whole episode on this, because this book has just like shot me into focus. That's just one facet of it, by the way, is the body stuff. It's also about sex and porn and power. And it didn't leave me feeling quite depressed and like there's really no hope. But we can talk about that another time. I would love to have Sophie Gilbert on the pod. Actually, I'm going to DM her and see if she would come, because it would be really cool. All right, let's just take a super quick call. Over the hump reaction. Elizabeth. I can't read today. Hey, Elizabeth, what's up?
Hi. Okay, just to preface this, I have a parasocial, like all your followers, relationship with you. I call every year.
Thank you. I appreciate
every
that.
Year, I just get that like Tinx moment. It's amazing. I just wanted to say I listened to your episode, and I shouldn't have been, because I'm married and I'm 31, so I was definitely not your target. But it made me realize, first of all, it made me understand what my single women friends are going through, even though I did. But like, from your perspective, it really helps. And it also helps us, I feel, show up better.
Thank you.
So thank you for that.
Thank you. That's so nice.
And the second thing I wanted to say is that it made me get over my hump, because I live in Paris, which is the same as New York, like getting married and having a kid when you're 31 is fairly young.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was also about like accepting that I'm not going to do all the single stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Because I can't do it all. And so some of my friends went on a weekend away, or they're going on a weekend away this summer, and they forgot to invite me, or so they said. But they just sort of like preface this by saying, oh, you have a kid now, you're a mom, like you probably won't have time.
Yeah.
And at first it really hurt. But then I was like, no, you can't both want the single weekend fun and the kid and everything that comes with it. Like, you can't get mad at it, at least. I mean, you can want it, but if it doesn't happen, it's not a big a deal. And then you need to get over that hump of like wanting to get everything from everyone else's life. Like, I get some really fun stuff that they don't have, and then I won't get to go on that weekend because I actually can't go.
Right.
And that's fine.
Right. Yeah. That's,
you know what I mean?
It's so real. And that's a really great perspective. Thank you for sharing, for, I think, single people to hear, because I think more often than not, they think, oh, woe is me. My life is so bad. I'm not there yet. But it's like, you're missing what's right in front of you. And I think the point of all of this is that everybody is on their own path. And I know I sound like a broken record saying it over and over and over again, but the more you let go of timelines and just kind of lean into what your life is giving you, the happier that you'll be, and I think that's very honest of you to say that. And I'm really appreciative that you called and shared that with us, because I hope that out there some moms are, nodding their heads and listening to you. And I hope that some single girls are going, wow, yeah, I mean, I guess I get to go on the trip to, Europe this summer. I get to go on the weekend trip and go away and do all that shit that maybe a new mom can't do. So, again, comparison is the thief of joy, but look at what's in front of you and enjoy the stage you're in, because life is really it's kind of about trade-offs. Like you can't do it all. You just can't. It's not possible.
Yeah. And I get so jealous sometimes. I'm like, you get to have a hangover.
Yeah.
Crazy, and that is a blessing. And I love that for all of you. And I wish that for many, many years. Yeah. And whenever I'm hungover, I wish I didn't have a kid. And it's okay. So thank you so much. And also, maybe last one hot take for me is that I actually think that moms were single before, so they know what it's like. And in that regard, maybe they should cut some slack to the single people who don't know how to deal with like new moms. And that's a very hot take. I know not everybody agrees, but that's my take. I'm like, well, I know what I didn't know then, so I can't get really mad at them.
Yeah, that's you have a very wise demeanor and you're very thoughtful in your observations. So I really appreciate you calling, and I hope that people take a lot from what you said, because I think it's really spot on.
All right, well, I'll call you next year.
All right, I'll talk to you next year. Bye, babe.
You got so much reaction to just comments and flooding in on even the podcast Instagram inbox of tons of married people listen, though.
All of them.
Yeah, all of them listen.
Including that
you told
BICTH.
You told them not to listen, so you bet they did. Like,
I know.
Obviously, that would make anyone want to listen.
But the girl who said that I broke my shoes because I said I made one thing for just single girls. I was like, I hope that your pillow is never cold again. Like, you're so mean. Like,
she was just a bitch.
She was just a bitch. Like, whatever.
It was such a vulnerable moment. You were sharing that shoe, and
I know. Oh my God,
she stepped on you.
My shoe.
But I love Elizabeth. She was so self-aware and appreciative.
I know.
All the married girls that wrote in, though, like, I won't bog down the pod with them. They were all like very similarly said, but they said it was such an interesting perspective for them to remember what it was like when they were single, and maybe some things that people were saying to them or the way they were treating them during it.
Yeah.
And it just refocused their perspective and knowing what their single friends are going through.
Yeah. I got a lot of that too, of like, I secretly listen. I just want to read a little bit out from this really sweet lady today. She said, former 30-something single gal here. I just got married at 37 and had to listen to your podcast and getting over the hump. Your points were all spot on. The celebs I looked up to were Amal Clooney and Priyanka Chopra. I always thought about my friends in bad marriages and was so grateful that I hadn't settled for something like that. I would also like to add that another way of getting over the hump is to set a goal of doing something that for some people you think you need a man for. For me, it was buying a house on my own and maintaining it and making it mine. You better believe I was shouting from the hilltops that I made that shit happen without help from anyone. I cut the grass, I fixed things, I renovated. I was so empowered in a sense that I could do all of this without a man. So why would I want to settle for anything less than I deserve? I will always advocate for my single girls and be their voice of reason. Thank you for doing the same with your podcast. Loved her.
That's awesome.
You really did go off on Friday.
I went off. And the thing is, if you're it's true. If you're in a happy marriage, you weren't triggered by it. And you're not triggered by the fact that someone, like a single person thinking like, it's crazy. Like, I'm just not going to settle for that. Like and that's okay. Okay, let us take a super quick break. I have a dating story I want your guys' hot take on after the break. So don't go anywhere.